As we all know, Toyota is one of the leading and most reliable companies, which tries to touch the perfection and never compromises to serve the best. And when the company's CEO talks, it has always benefited the brand to be great. Well, what is the buzz regarding BEV then? Does the CEO have something better to offer? He has some news that is better from the environmental point of view, which might shock you as a Toyota fan. So let's get started, only here on Tech Addicts, your only space for quick and legit car updates. And let's begin. Let's talk about the CEO's vision for the betterment of the Green Society, as Toyota is one of the largest manufacturers of automobiles and believes in reliability with the vision of being eco-friendly. Toyota has displayed the IMV0 and Hilux Revo BEV prototypes in Bangkok, and the company has claimed that production models of both vehicles are approximately 1 year away. These pickup truck concepts use the Hilux as a platform and attempt to provide a greener alternative in comparison to more traditional powertrains. They were developed to honor 60 years of Toyota in Thailand. Although no specifics regarding either the electric vehicle or the alternative energy vehicle have been disclosed, it is reasonable to assume that both technologies will, at some point in the not-too-distant future, be installed in automobiles that are constructed on the IMV platform, such as the Innova Crysta and the Fortuner. Actually, President Akio Toyoda was the one who came up with the idea for the environmentally friendly project. Toyota was given the responsibility of leading the IMV project in the year 2002. This project is the one that resulted in the creation of the Hilux Vigo, Innova, and Fortuner. Toyota battled against the odds to develop the vehicle correctly and release it on schedule. It was a challenging assignment, but in the end, he and the team in Thailand were successful, and the IMV platform is now responsible for producing more than 7 million automobiles. He explained, "I was rather young for such a position at the time, and it just so happened that I had the last name Toyota." You can probably guess that there were a lot of people in Japan who were betting on whether or not the project would be successful. The Vigo will always be one of my favorite career memories, and more than anything else, it was the catalyst for developing my leadership style. As a means of expressing my gratitude, I've decided to issue a challenge to our engineering and design teams, asking them to come up with an entirely new IMV pickup truck for Thailand that is both reasonably priced and technologically advanced. The president of Toyota also shared his passion for automobiles, sustainability, and carbon neutrality in his remarks. He endeared himself to the audience by declaring, "As you may have guessed, I don't just like cars, I adore them." He was referring to his passion for automobiles, and after that he continued by discussing potential future forms of propulsion. Because I won't say that the automobile industry should devote 100% of its resources to battery electric vehicles. I am frequently criticized in the press. To tell the truth, BEVs are not the only option for accomplishing the global goal of carbon neutrality. Personally, I think it would be better to explore all the possibilities rather than just one. Synthetic fuels that don't produce emissions, hydrogen, hybrid electric vehicles, plug-in electric vehicles, and all-electric vehicles with full batteries, like our brand new BZ4X. He went on to elaborate, saying, "But we're not stopping there. We are looking into hydrogen fuel choices for the GR Yaris and have launched fuel cell vehicles like the Toyota Mirai." Toyota added that he thinks a holistic strategy for achieving carbon neutrality is something that is urgently required. Where we get our materials, how we make our vehicles, what kinds of drivetrains we put in them, and how we get rid of them are all important factors. In addition, it must be a collaborative endeavor that involves other sectors in addition to the automotive industry. When Akio Toyoda, the current CEO of Toyota, has something to say, the business world pays attention. Those who are opposed to the quick transition from internal combustion engines to batteries and hydrogen fuel cells nodded and winked in satisfaction when the Japanese industry leader recently cast doubt on electrified vehicle ambitions and regulatory targets in the United States, Europe, and elsewhere. However, this presupposes that Mr. Toyota is correct. In recorded remarks to dealers at the automaker's annual meeting in Las Vegas, Toyota CEO Akio Toyoda says that just like the fully autonomous cars that we are all supposed to be driving by now, electric vehicles are just going to take longer to become mainstream than the media would like us to believe. In the meantime, you provide your customers with a wide variety of choices. Toyota believes there is more mileage to be gotten out of plug-in hybrid electric vehicles that run on batteries for a short distance before an internal combustion engine takes over. Toyota is the leading seller of hybrid vehicles, and Toyota believes that it is more mileage to be gotten out of these. The lackluster performance of hybrid and plug-in hybrid electric vehicle sales. Over the course of the previous decade, though, many analysts and industry executives do not prefer them due to the requirement of having twin powertrains in place. The largest car maker in the world, Toyota, has announced its intention to invest $70 billion in electric vehicles over the course of the next 9 years. Battery-powered electric vehicles will account for half of that total. Although it is a sizable expenditure, it is significantly less than the budgets of some of Toyota's competitors, and it's not nearly as much as one might anticipate, given Toyota's preeminent position in the automotive industry. According to Mr. Toyoda, the auto industry and government regulators in the United States ought to slow down their push toward the goal of having battery electric cars account for 50% of all new light passenger vehicles by the year 2030 for 3 primary reasons. It will take longer than 7 years from now to reach that many people buying BEVs, which is estimated to be between 7 and 8 million based on historical sales trends. Over the course of the next 10 years, there will be tremendous shortages of lithium and battery-grade nickel, which will cause disruptions in the supply chain. And it will take more time until the infrastructure for rapid charging is reliable and user-friendly in crucial markets like Europe and North America, particularly for people who live in metropolitan areas. According to several recent polls and studies, the general public appears to have a preference for battery electric vehicles to eventually replace internal combustion engines in personal automobiles and even huge trucks like the Tesla Semi. According to findings from a survey conducted by the Pew Research Center, an overwhelming majority of persons living in the United States are in favor of the government offering tax breaks and other incentives to encourage the purchase of electric or hybrid automobiles. In the same vein, however, American motorists are split on the question of whether or not they would personally take an electric vehicle into consideration the next time they are in the market for a new car. And the majority of people are against completely eliminating gas-powered automobiles in the next few years, as the state of California and a few other states are planning to do. More than 2/3 of American adults favor offering financial incentives to encourage people to drive electric and hybrid automobiles. The survey finds that Democrats and independents who lean Democrat are significantly more likely to say they prefer incentives to encourage EV use than Republicans and GOP leaners who are to say they favor such incentives. The difference here is 84% to 46%. In the future, when they are in the market for a new automobile or truck, around 4 in 10 Americans say that they are very or somewhat inclined to consider acquiring an electric vehicle. A significantly greater share of respondents, at 45%, indicate that they would not be too likely or not at all likely to do this, while 13% of respondents say that they do not intend to purchase a vehicle in the near or distant future. For the U.S. to accomplish its target of having half the new cars sold BEVs by 2030, the government and the business sector will have to educate, enlighten, and influence another 10% or so of the car-buying public to feel comfortable with electric vehicles. Toyota's comments about putting the brakes on battery electric vehicles seem reasonable when considering the wide range of industries that produce carbon and the effect that natural carbon producers, such as forest fires, have on the amount of progress we make in greening the world's personal mobility fleet. This is especially true when considering the fact that many of the world's power plants are fueled by coal and natural gas. The argument against the CEO of Toyota, on the other hand, has two parts. To begin, the globe, which is experiencing an increase in temperature, does not care what Mr. Toyota believes. Second, if all sectors of the economy and all nations are eventually going to be on the same page with regard to climate change, alternative sources of green energy, and carbon emissions, then consumers and governments will be in a position to lead the effort to exert pressure on all stakeholders to conform to the same standards. The Toyota Environmental Challenge 2050, also known as Challenge 2050, is a series of 6 visionary tasks that aim to go beyond eliminating negative environmental impacts and instead create net positive impacts on the Earth and society. After conducting significant research and consulting both internal and external stakeholders, Toyota Motor Corporation, the parent company of Toyota with its headquarters in Japan, declared these 6 issues in 2015. The challenges are the most complex and exciting environmental commitments that this corporation has ever made, and they apply to all of Toyota's subsidiaries located in different parts of the world. Let's hope for the best. Moving forward, this is it for today's video. We will be right back with more amazing updates, so if you want to be connected to us, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. And thanks for watching.